What's going on, guys? It is Hunter here, and we are back. BoogiePod episode 44. We took last week off, and it was the start of the football season, so we took it off, and then now we're going in. We are in the football season. We are already about to approach week 3 in college football, which is crazy. Felt like week 1 was literally this past week, but it was instead 2 weeks ago. And then we still got one more game left of NFL week 1, but then it's over. And we are just diving in. Before we know it, college football season will already be over, and we'll be sad again. But gotta enjoy it while it's here, man. Did you have a good weekend?
No. Bad weekend.
Bad weekend. I'm sure we'll get into why it's a bad weekend for you here in a little bit. But, yeah, man, we got some good things to talk about. We're keeping it football only. We're going college football, NFL, no MLB, no UFC because the UFC card was bum. That's what you want to know my opinion about it. So we're going to talk about that real quick, actually. Bad card. Never want to see it again. There we go. That's what we're talking about. And
Rigged ending.
Yeah,
to not choke him out.
and then baseball-wise, just another boring sport. No one cares because Boston ain't good. So let's move on. So we're going to start off college football, our week 2, stock up and stock down teams. I'll start us off. I put 3 for each. Don't matter. You can put 1, you can put 5, you can put as many as you want. You can put whatever. I put 3 for each just because I felt like there was 3 for each for me, but whatever you got's fine as well. So stock up, I have Texas, looked very good against Alabama. Quinn Ewers, if that team has Quinn Ewers or a playoff team without him, I don't know. USC, that is a big deal. Not a lot of people are giving them credit to be able to beat Stanford like that in their own place, but good win for USC, very impressive. And that's also a good statement marker for Lincoln Riley if he's going to stay in that conference. Why he's not, you know what I mean. BYU. That was my other team, BYU. To be able to win against another, I guess, what was Baylor, 8 or something like that? 5th, 12th, something like that?
12.
Yeah. So to be able to be a top 15 team without your 2 best wide receivers shows, 1, that you have a home atmosphere. That's exactly what that shows. And 2 is that you're really good outside of the wide receivers. You can win without them. So imagine what you can do when they come back, which I do not know when is. But those are my 3 stock-up teams. Who do you got for stock-up?
You pretty much took all the ones I was going to say, so I'll go different and say slight stock up, because I was going to say the same ones. They're obvious ones.
Okay,
but
yeah.
Tennessee slightly.
Yeah.
To play kind of mid and still win on the road. That usually doesn't happen for Tennessee.
Yep.
A little biased because I'm a Tennessee fan, but hey.
I agree. No, they were in my conversation for stock up. I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to stock down. I'll let you go first, since my dad's walking in here. I'm doing the boogie pod, man. Yeah. Everyone say hi to Dad. Go. Okay, go ahead.
Stock down to really obvious as well. Notre Dame in the basement right now.
Yeah.
Bad. And A&M.
Yep.
Really bad. I'm about to take the other obvious one. I'm going to say Alabama slightly.
Yep.
That's the sloppiest Alabama's ever played since I've watched college football, I feel like.
Yeah.
I can't remember a sloppier game from Alabama.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Mm-hmm. I'll go a little bit of a different route, I guess, and I'll throw in another team just for, goofs and gags. I'll do another slightly. I'll go Baylor. I think Baylor was the underdog, so they weren't supposed to win the game, right? Were they the underdogs? Yeah, they weren't supposed to win the game, but a lot of people had them as Big 12 champions, and a lot of people were picking them as their spread game, as you did in our game, which isn't a bad pick, but...
they were, but you told me they lost the wide receivers. They were favored 3.5.
They're favored 3.5.
But I got it. They were you told me when the game started they were minus 3.5.
Yes.
So I picked them at plus.
Yes.
So they were favored going into the game.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Regardless, I'm gonna go with a slight downgrade. Not a big one, but a slight. They're kind of in the Tennessee level. Tennessee's getting the slide up. I'd say Baylor gets the slide down, kind of deal. But definitely the 3 that we mentioned for each side are definitely the ones that get the big nod. So we're gonna go with a headline here. We're gonna go Scott Frost got fired. That's why he's on the thumbnail. He's fired, baby. He's gone. What a big dub for Nebraska. Big dub. You lose the college football game, but then you get the woo. Get the woo in you. Yeah, you get Scott Frost is gone. That's big. I don't know any college football candidate coaches, so I'm not going to sit here and name them like I do. But great for him, man. I was so proud. Look at Nebraska. Finally making moves. A lot of people were going to say that they should have waited to October, which they probably should have. But it don't matter. He's gone. Thank God. We can get into, actual Nebraska being a good team again. Because we'll ignore the fact I picked them to win the Big Ten West. We'll ignore that. So
you have to ignore it.
Yeah, we got to ignore it.
We should delete that video.
Yeah, we should. That's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Go ahead, Jake. What's your reaction on this?
My reaction, it needed to happen, but I would have also waited till October to save millions of dollars because you're going to suck regardless if he's there or not, most likely.
Yeah.
I would have taken my L and kept him and then fired him for a cheaper price. But I'll also shout out to delusional Tennessee fans thinking that we could lose Josh Heupel to the Nebraska job. I've seen that on Twitter.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, some people are actually worried about that. There's no way Nebraska.
Listen, Tennessee fans.
Tennessee right now.
Listen, Tennessee fans, okay? Because I know there's a lot of Tennessee fans that watch the podcast. We're from Tennessee. Listen, if you're listening to me right now, look at me. If Josh Heupel leaves Tennessee and goes to Nebraska, that is a bad, bad look. That I do not. Yeah, that is a real bad look. There is in my book, there's no chance of that happening. I think Tennessee's a lot more premier program than Nebraska. But I mean, you get better recruits at Tennessee. That's a stupid topic. We're not talking about that. That's like retarded. Oh well, I can't say that word, but you know what I mean. That's bad. So all right, let's move on. Let's go to I'm calling it. You know, I got this inspiration because you got the JP poll, right? That's Josh Pate's poll. You got some other ones out there. You got, the best college football show, his poll. He calls it something. Then you got the AP poll, coach's poll, all this other polls. So we're going to have a poll. We're going to call it the Boogie poll. That's what we're calling it. Boogie poll. Got BP. Has a good little ring to it, Donna. We're going to start that. And I thought, what a better number to do than 12. Because we're going to go into the 12-team playoff soon. So me and Jake are going to give our top 12 poll. So it's just like the AP poll, but it's our personal poll, and it's only 12. You are allowed to have honorable mentions if you think they should be mentioned, if they think they're deserving of being mentioned. But I'm going to start with my honorable mentions. I have a team that's a lot higher in the AP poll, but they are not my top 12. And that's Oklahoma State. I do not have Oklahoma State in my top 12. I have them out. I have them in the honorable mention, so I do think they're well enough to be deserved in the top 12, just not in mine. And Miami, I also don't have Miami in the top 12, but I think they're in the discussion. They've handled business for the most part. They've had a little rough, but they've handled business. They haven't played nobody good, though. So, do you have any honorable mentions?
No, I don't.
Okay, then you start us out with your 12.
Okay, should I start at 12 or start at 1?
Go 12, and then I'm going to go my 12. We're going to go back and forth.
Oh, okay. So my 12 is Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State. Okay, so I had them on honorable mention. Okay, I'm okay with that. That's fine. At 12, I got no. Even though I'm from here, I don't support them, but I got Tennessee. I got Tennessee at 12. I like them there, and I think they're better than the teams I put below them. So I got Tennessee at 12. That's what I got. I know they look sloppy, but I think the point of they still won even looking sloppy is good enough to put them there. So I like Tennessee at 12. So go 11.
11, I have Arkansas.
Okay. All right. I got Michigan State at 11. They've looked decent. They haven't played no one great, so it's really hard to judge them. So I'm giving an advantage to the teams that went out and scheduled harder competition at the beginning of the year. So I'm going to that's why Tennessee's kind of 12. You want to go schedule hard games like that, I'll give you credit. So I got Michigan State at 11 right now. Go ahead.
10, I have Kentucky.
Okay, I also have Kentucky at 10. I also got Kentucky at 10. I don't know if they're necessarily the 10th best team in the country, but I think they're deserving 10. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, move on. Go ahead.
Number 9, I actually have BYU. I'm
Okay.
a little higher on them than some people. I think beating Baylor early in the season is a good thing, and you have to reward them for it for now.
I agree. At number 9, I have Arkansas, which I'm a little higher than you are on them. Just a tad, just a smidge. They did beat Cincinnati. They did beat South Carolina. Those are both Power 5 teams. Now, they were both at home, and they both were close games, but they won them. So I'll give credit where credit's due there. Okay, go ahead with 8.
Number 8, I have Clemson. Clemson at number 8. Because my 8, 7, and 6 teams are all in the same boat, in my opinion, right now.
Okay, all right.
I'll explain after we get to number 6 because I think it makes sense to me. Now, I'm a little short, but having watched them play, I'm pretty confident on neutral ground everyone else would beat them.
Okay.
Maybe there's one team I put ahead that would beat Clemson.
That's all. That's what it's all about. If you think they'll beat them, then that's deserving. At number 8, I have BYU. A little higher than you are, but I think I agree with you that the wins are very impressive. And like, if you would have went on and beat Baylor like you did with the 2 wide receivers, I'd be like, okay, good win. You did it without them, that's really impressive. So I give BYU credit right there. And with their 2 wide receivers, I think they're well deserving of 8. Moving on.
Number 7, I have Oklahoma.
Okay. All right. Number 7, I also have Oklahoma, so I'd assume for the same reasons. So go ahead.
Okay, number 6. This is my last team in the same boat with Clemson. This one, I actually have a little regrets secondhand. I think Clemson could have been above them. I have Michigan State. That would be
Okay.
a good game in my opinion because they've played nobody, but they've looked good. So I had to put them ahead of Clemson and Oklahoma.
Okay, I'm way lower Michigan State. I have them at
Yeah, you
11.
are.
So
I could see why, though.
Yeah.
I could see why.
okay, at 6, I have Ohio State, and here's why. I mentioned it to you a little earlier today, but now that Notre Dame has lost to Marshall, and Ohio State had a close game with Notre Dame at Ohio State, and Marshall went into Notre Dame and beat them, and it would have been different if it was like a fluke win, but Marshall looked better. It wasn't like a crazy comeback or there's a lot of turnovers. No, Marshall straight up in every stat category beat Notre Dame. So I have to discredit the close game with Ohio State, and I got to drop them. So they're down to 6.
Okay. So number 5 for me, I have USC.
Okay. At number 5, I also have USC. So I'd assume for the same reasons there.
Impressive win from forget Stanford.
100%. Yeah. They look good.
Disney spread game points.
Yeah.
Number 4. 4, I have Ohio State. I dropped them as well, just not as far because that Notre Dame game, Ohio State didn't look good, and seeing how bad Notre Dame is now, like you said, kind of a big question mark.
And
I could have been harsher. But I wasn't.
And a lot of people didn't also see it. Something else to bring about Ohio State, going back to them a little bit, is how they were in a close game at halftime against Arkansas State. That doesn't look good.
Yeah, they were.
So,
it doesn't look good.
So I'm just throwing that out there. At number 4, I have Alabama. You can't go into a 21-point spread and make it close and then not get punished for it. Should the spread been that big? Looking back at it, no. But the rest of these teams I have above them took care of business, and Alabama, in my opinion, did not take care of business there. So I got them at 4. Now, if Texas goes on and becomes this 1-2 loss team, sure, Alabama, I'll move them up. As we'll do this every week, I'll move them up. I'll give them credit. But as of right now, I think Texas is ranked 22 now. How can you be the number 2 or 1 team in the country and win by 1 point against number 22? Doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm putting Alabama 4.
Okay, 3, I have Michigan.
Okay. Yep, I agree with that. I got them a tad higher, but we'll get there. Number 3, I have Clemson. They've took care of business, and I'm biased. Keep going on.
2, I have Alabama.
Okay.
I dropped them 1. I think they should have lost. Quinn Ewers, actually, if Quinn Ewers doesn't get hurt, they might get kind of blown out a little bit. But I'm not going to overreact too hard. They're just definitely not better than the number 1 team.
Yep. All right.
Right now.
At number 2, I got Michigan. They look great, and now they have a real quarterback. R.I.P. my boy. R.I.P. my boy. But
K. McNamara.
Yeah, K. McNamara. R.I.P. my boy, man. He's done the job there, but it's time to hand over to the hype train, J.J. McCarthy. And I'm really excited for him to take over there. And I think this team, unless Ohio State figures it out, that team is a Big Ten champion. And that team is a team that can compete in the playoffs. Go ahead to your number 1.
Number 1 is Georgia, and there's honestly a gap right now, a small gap. I think Georgia's looked way better than everybody else.
Yeah.
Beating Oregon like that.
Yep. At number 1, I also have Georgia. Obvious reasons, for the same reasons you mentioned. The gap's it's too big. It's too big right now.
Yeah.
I will say this. I would like to see their offense do a little bit better against Stanford, but I mean, honestly,
they're taking people out early. You never know. I don't really know what happened.
Exactly. Nobody. If you watch that game and you're not a Georgia fan, you are weird. Moving on. What about the panic meter for Alabama? We mentioned this in our AP poll about how they had a close game with Texas. Where do you think this? We'll go out of 10. 10 being like, clean house, to 1 being don't even be concerned. It's what it is. Where are you setting here for Alabama?
I'm gonna say a 4 or 5. They were getting outclassed a little bit when Quinn Ewers was playing. I mean, it was close the whole time. It's like everyone expected Alabama to win in the trenches on the line. They really didn't.
No, they didn't at all.
They underperformed. Will Anderson played terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Penalties like crazy. I bet a lot of NFL scouts saw that game. They're like, dang, I might have to chill out a little bit on him. He's really good, but like that game was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang, I just lost my train of thought. Panic meter, yeah. Penalties. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Penalties is the only thing I really think that's concerning.
Yeah.
It was at Texas. I think Texas kind of got the short end of the stick with the spread a little bit. It should have been closer. Being at Texas, it's a hard place to play. Penalties, they got to clean those up. They want to compete with anybody like Georgia.
Yeah. So I'm going to comment on one thing before I go to my panic meter about the spread that should have been shorter. We were arguing that, or not arguing, but we were both agreeing. I don't know why I said arguing. We were agreeing, both of us are agreeing on this, that we play like a little spread game, and we talked about that could be a spread for Alabama. So I don't know if we should say it should be closer.
In hindsight, it should.
Looking back at it, it should obviously have been closer. But
yeah.
But my panic meter, I'm going to go with a 7, and here's why. Here's why I'm going a little higher. I'm going to 7 because this is the same problems the Alabama team had last year. No improvement. Last year, they struggled on the road. You go look at any of their close games, on the road. On the road at Florida, on the road at Texas A&M. They lost that game. Auburn. Yes, they were.
They almost lost Auburn.
They struggled with it, and if you look at all three of those games, it's the exact same issue. Penalties. False starts. They can't handle the crowd. Bryce Young plays significantly worse during the crowd. It's a problem. And this is something that we've seen a lot of great Alabama teams have been immune to, and it kind of takes them out of the upset factor. But if you're still struggling on the road, and if Bryce Young hasn't took that jump to control that offense on the road, so if he hasn't made no improvements and that offense hasn't made no improvements, I'm pressing the panic button a little bit here. Am I pressing a 10? Obviously not. Pressing a 7, though. Got to figure it out. And I think if we're talking about Bill O'Brien by himself, I think we're pressing 10 a little bit on Bill O'Brien. Somebody to look out for. I think we're pressing 10 on Bill O'Brien a little bit. Unacceptable for that many 5-stars to be putting up. How many points they scored? 21? Was it 21-20? What was the score? I can't remember now.
It was, I believe, 21-20.
Either way, Bill O'Brien, that's unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Yeah, one more thing is, like, usually on Alabama, you have, like, everyone knows the star wide receivers' names and the running back's name. Right now, I didn't really see much talent in wide receiver. I know star-wise,
supposed to be good,
but, like, name, like, I haven't seen the Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Amari Coopers, Derrick Henry at running back. None of those guys.
Nope.
Or Najee Harris.
Nope.
Not like the next ones.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it right now. Bryce Young is good.
Yes.
He's good enough to hold a – if it was like –
if it wasn't for him –
Mac Jones this year,
yeah,
I don't know.
If it wasn't for him –
is good, but –
yes, if it wasn't for him dunking that sack, they lose.
Yeah, they lose.
So,
yeah, they probably lose.
So as much as I dissed up on Bryce Young a little bit, saying if he hasn't made those improvements, but man, like I said, Bill O'Brien, you gotta figure it out. Yeah. Make stars. You gotta make stars. All right, let's move on. We're gonna go into our pick'em games. We didn't do them last week, which sucks because I think we both would have probably took Florida. I want to say, but we didn't pick them, so we're undefeated. We didn't pick them. We're undefeated. We're both 2-0 because we won week zeros or week ones. Sorry. So let's go into our week threes. We have number 12 BYU at number 25 Oregon. I'll let you start, and then I'll pick the first one for the next one.
I'm gonna go BYU.
Okay. I'm gonna go. Man.
Bo Nix is not it.
I know.
I pick
it's at home though. Will BYU have their receivers, dude?
Surely.
They're gonna be on their high horse too. I'm going. Man, I don't know, dude. I gotta pick somebody. I'm taking up time.
Pick now. Pick
BYU.
Good. Smart.
Going BYU. Stupid game. All right. Number 13 Miami at number 24 Texas A&M. Texas A&M is minus 5.5 favorites in this game. I'll go with Miami.
I'm also going to go Miami.
Okay.
Texas A&M's offense looks like it was made in 2010.
Yeah, it does. Also, not to mention, Oregon's a minus 3.5 favorite against BYU. So we're both taking dogs this week. We're both on the dog train. All right, so we're going to go into our college football lock. So this is me and Jake's betting spread lock of the week. We're going to start doing this too. Might even keep up a little, see how right we are, too, on this one. But my betting lock is Colorado State at Washington State, minus 16.5 for Washington State. That is my lock of this week. What about you?
Mine is going to be USC minus 12 against Fresno State at USC, coming off a big win against Stanford. I think they should probably win that by 12 at least. If they don't, Fresno State might be a pretty good team.
Yeah. All right, so last thing to talk about college football here. Quinn Edwards hurt. We mentioned it again about the Alabama panic meter topic and then the poll and stock downs and all that good stuff. But let's really dive into this here. Quinn Edwards is hurt. What does this mean for Texas, do you think? Going forward a little bit here.
I don't know what their schedule looks like. Because if they have a soft part of the schedule, they can maybe get through it with maybe just a loss.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're going to be very good without Quinn Ewers. Hudson Card. He was hurt on one leg too, but I just don't see. I just don't see it there. Okay, here's the schedule. He's gonna be out like 4 to 6 weeks. They said.
Okay.
Say it's 4. He's gonna miss UTSA, Texas Tech, West Virginia, and Oklahoma game.
Oklahoma.
He's not back for the Oklahoma game. At Oklahoma, they lose.
Yeah.
They have a chance to Quinn Ewers because those games are always good.
Yeah.
But without Quinn Ewers, they're not winning that.
No,
I think it means it's gonna be a big what if because they would have beaten Alabama. To be a huge what if is what it means.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they are very lucky to have Hudson Carr as the backup quarterback because he's very proven. And maybe he's better not hurt. It's hard to tell. But the Oklahoma game is very concerning. Maybe they can rush Quinn Edwards along and make that game or something. I don't know. We'll see. That's also risky. But, yeah. Yeah, I think there could be worse. It could always be worse if you're a Texas fan. It could always be worse. So, dude, that's something else about Alabama, man. Backup quarterback the whole game, too, and you still don't blow them out. I'm glad I put them at forward. All right, let's move on. Okay, let's go into NFL. We're going to start off NFL stock up and stock down teams. I'll start it again with the stock ups. My stock up teams are the Miami Dolphins, the Minnesota Vikings, and the Kansas City Chiefs. I was very impressed with the Dolphins because they came out and did what they were supposed to, and Tua looked good. And the Vikings because they absolutely road stomped Green Bay. I know that's a downgrade Green Bay now, which we'll get to here in a minute. And the Chiefs because no Tyreek Hill, no issue for Patrick Mahomes. He proved he is good, which he's already good, but he proved he was actually good. I might be biting my words about him not winning a Super Bowl, but as of right now, I'm confident. So, moving on. Go ahead. Go ahead.
My stock up first was actually to be a loser. My stock is going to be the Lions.
That's a good stock up.
Hanging 35 on the Eagles. Good defense. They're supposed to have an all-time good defense this year.
It's a good stock up.
No, they don't. Not
good
right
pick.
Now, at least.
Yeah.
But hanging 35 in your first game with Jared Goff is very impressive to me.
Yeah.
First game of the season. Lions fans have something to look forward to as soon as they get a really good quarterback because they're building something.
Yep.
I'll agree with the Dolphins. Tua looked pretty good. Of course, new head coach. Still more things to figure out.
Yeah.
Let me get one more, I think. I guess I can go with the Chiefs, too.
Okay.
Yeah, they look good without Tyreek Hill. They'll be fine.
Yeah. All right, go ahead. You can start with the stock down teams.
Stock downs. Stock, like, in 10 feet under, 20 feet under is Dallas. It's over.
Yeah.
I'm a Dallas fan. It's over. It is over this year, and that's fine. Good draft pick. Always have something to look forward to, at least. So, and the next, I'm going to say the Buccaneers offense is stock down. I think Dallas actually has an okay defense this year because Michael Parsons is obviously one of the best players in the NFL on the defensive side of the ball. But, yeah, I wasn't impressed by them. Obviously, watched the game last night. I was like, they did what they needed to do to win, but And stock down is also going to be the Bengals. Big stock down there, too. 5 turnovers from Joe Burrow, 4 picks, 1 fumble. It's at Bengals. You're supposed to win that game against the Steelers when it's at the Bengals. Supposed to win that game bad. And one more is the 49ers losing to the Bears.
That's bad.
That's bad.
That's bad.
That is bad. Trey Lance looked pretty bad.
Yeah.
The Bears didn't even look great, and they still won by 9. So, yeah, big stock downs this week.
Yep. You took mine. That's same reasons you said. So, yeah, just reiterate what he said, and I agree. All right. We're gonna mention. You mentioned the Cowboys just a minute ago with the stock down. We're gonna go into Dak is hurt. If Cowboys are 15, 10 feet under, like you said, then I mean, that's what I'm kind of getting to here. What does that mean for Dallas? I'll go ahead and say what I think. I think they'll be better off than what people think they will be. I'm going to give them a little credit. I think good draft pick, not so fast. I think maybe 14, 15, middle of the pack is where I think the Packers will finish. Or Cowboys. Because, one, like you said, their defense is actually really good. It looked good. I think there's nothing wrong with the Bucs offense. I think the defense just looked really good. And
what a shame, then. God, what a shame.
Yeah, I think it is what a shame. Because next thing is, you have a proven backup quarterback in Cooper Rush, and you might go make a move for Jimmy Garoppolo or another quarterback, like somebody off free agency. Don't want to mention his name. But I still think Dallas could get to 500, especially a very easy schedule. Don't throw them off yet. Now playoff, no, but good enough. You're going to be right where you don't want to be, and that's dead middle. And I think that's where they're going to finish up at. So don't give up on them yet.
Yeah, my thoughts.
Still early too.
Obviously, it is really early. I mean, the year Dak broke his ankle, they were still a middle of the pack pick. So I like your thoughts there. They still were like 13 or 14 and got Micah.
Yep.
They were pretty bad that year too, obviously because Dak wasn't playing. But I say blow it up. I'm tired of the loop they're stuck in of getting a lucky late round or undrafted quarterback and him turning out being good, but not good enough.
Yeah.
I think you blow it up and you finally get a top talent at quarterback. Maybe not this year because I don't bet they're too scared to do something like that. Jerry Jones is not a good owner and he's not a good GM. And yeah, I agree with what you said pretty much, but I think they'll be worse than you think. I think they'll be really bad. Cooper Rush is proven, but he's not like good though.
Yeah,
he's a fine.
Yeah,
okay. Maybe he could beat the Vikings. He beat the Vikings at Cowboys or at Vikings. I can't remember when he was playing. That's pretty good. So,
yeah.
But one last statement, I guess. People hate Dallas, and they'll hate Jerry Jones. But if I hated Dallas, I would love Jerry Jones. Let me tell you why. Because he's the reason they've not been that great for the last 20 years. The man doesn't know how to run a team. That's my last thought.
Okay.
Doesn't know how to run.
I would agree with you. All right, let's go on. We're going to do our power rankings. So our top 5, who we think is the best teams right now in NFL. I'll start, and then we'll go popcorn like we did with the Boogie poll. So number 5, I have the Chargers. I got Chargers at 5. All right, go ahead.
My 5 is the Buccaneers, just because the question about the offense. Because the defense is going to be the best in the league, or top 3. If the offense is that good again, they'll be higher. Okay,
number 4, and I jumped up this team a little bit. I was very impressed because I'm not completely down on the team they beat, if that makes sense. And I got the Vikings at 4. Very, very impressed. And, you know, a lot of people are going to look at that game and be like, wow, the Packers aren't that good. I don't think so. I think it's going to be more of the Vikings are that good this year. I think they're going to make that jump. And I'm going to say it here, I believe in Kirk Cousins this year to do something good with that team. I believe in him. If it ain't, it's now or never for Kirk, because that's probably the best team he's going to have, it looks like, shaping up to be. So, all right, you go ahead.
My 4 is also the Vikings. Justin Jefferson's going to clearly be the best wide receiver in the NFL, and he's on pace to be the best wide receiver of all time right now. He's on pace to be better than Jerry Rice.
That's
crazy. Crazy to think about. I think Justin Jefferson is that dude for the next 15 years, maybe, if he stays healthy.
Yeah.
He's that good, and I think any quarterback with Justin Jefferson will do good. I think Kirk's good, too. He's overhated. But, yeah, Vikings at 4.
All right, at 3, I have the Chiefs. Another team I jumped up pretty high here because of how impressive they looked without Tyreek Hill. I was a big question mark guy on the Tyreek Hill's gone. How good really is Patrick Mahomes? And now he's proven to me. I know it's one game in, and these are just power rankings from week 1, so it's not, you can't overreact in a power ranking. So I like Chiefs. I like Chiefs at 3.
At 3, I like Chargers.
Okay.
I think they played a little sloppy there at the end. They almost could have blown the game, but Herbert still looked good. Defense still came up big at the end.
Nope.
Week 1 stuff. I think Chargers will be fine.
At 2, I got Bucs. I had them there before we go in here, before we start week 1, and the reason why I keep them there is because I'm going to give credit to Dallas' defense over disregarding Bucs' offense. You go ahead with 2.
2, I have Chiefs. They look like they always have.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. There might be a gap, so they have to be 2.
And then we both got Bills at 1.
There's a gap between team-wise. Bills are better than everybody by a gap right now. But,
That's crazy. Rams are out of both our top 5s.
We didn't mention them for a stock down. I think we forgot about them, but they are a monster stock down.
Yeah, I think it's because the teams that were there were bigger stock down than them. Because if we're putting the Bills that high, then it wasn't Rams though. That's a bad game, man.
And anyways, celebration night for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's go on. Another headline here. Joe Burrow struggles, man. Buddy threw what? 4 picks. Oh, he better hope the Steelers turn out to be like the best defense in the league, or that looks really bad. Because even four picks against anyone's bad. That's real bad.
Yeah,
that's like you turn off the game halfway through NCAA if you throw 4 picks and restart. That is really bad. I bet that's what you wish you could have done to that game. What do you think? You think this is like, 4 picks, dang, move on, and then he'll like pick it back up next week, or do you think this is like concerning?
Well, history shows that the loser of the Super Bowl most of the time has a bad year the next year. And it's kind of a consensus between me and you and a lot of other people that the Bengals run last year was a bit lucky, a little fluky. Things went their way. They usually wouldn't go their way, which is fine. It's part of it. Good year for them. But I think this year, I don't think Joe Burrow is going to stay this bad, but I think the Bengals will not be this great as they were last year.
Okay.
I think they'll be pretty bad, but Joe Burrow will still play fine. He's got too much around him to suck.
Yeah.
If he keeps throwing 4 picks like that or having bad games, then dang.
He's real bad.
he has to be really bad if those 4 picks with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Yeah.
1-2. So
then Tyler Boyd's your 3, dude.
Yeah. And Joe Mixon.
Yeah, it's bad.
Come on.
But he has weapons all around the place. All right, let's move on to our pick'ems for our prime times. Me and you are both 0-0 because, again, we missed last week. So we're going to do it this week. So what we're going to do, it's a little different because Monday night's here in a bit. We're going to do our Monday night games, which will be the last game of the week that we kind of just talked about. So it'll be week 1 this week. It'll be the last game that we're going to pick that one. And then we're going to do the Sunday night and Thursday night primetime games. So we'll do all 3 primetime games. It's just the last one for week 1 will be thrown into the episode before the previous week. You get what I'm saying there. So we'll go and start with that. Broncos are my 6 favorites on the road at the Seahawks. Who do you got in this one, Jake?
I got Broncos for my fantasy team's sake. I think Broncos are going to whoop them.
Yep.
Hopefully really bad.
I got Broncos, and I think they will cover the -6, but not by a lot. I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a good game. But that's not to say no one does bad. I think Seattle will run the ball actually pretty well in this game. But besides that, I think Broncos will take care of business here. Let's go move on to Thursday night, which is Chargers at Chiefs. Chiefs are -3.5. This is a great game. I'm going to go Chiefs, and I think they will cover the -3.5.
That's a good one. I didn't realize that was that game. Wow.
Yeah, it's a great one.
You said this is Thursday night?
Thursday night.
Oh, man. I have to go Chiefs, but I'm really not confident in that because I think the Chargers are the better team.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they might split this year, like usual. So I'll pick Chiefs.
All right. Next up to our third game. This will be Sunday night primetime for week 2. And that is the Bears at Packers. Packers are my 10-point favorites. I'm going Packers, but I'm taking Bears to cover. Less than 10 points. Real close game.
Well, there's one thing I know. The Bears don't beat the Packers as long as Aaron Rodgers is playing usually. So I'm going to take Packers pretty confidently. Is it -10 you said?
Yeah, -10.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll cover that. I don't know if they can beat
that. Because Bears' defense
10.
looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I think low-scoring game for this one. Because Bears have an awful offense and a good defense, and Packers have an awful offense, and it don't matter how good your defense is against the Bears' offense. So
that's true. Yeah, I think Packers though. I'm pretty confident.
Yeah. All right. So then we're gonna move on to we'll talk about the Packers a little bit here. We just got done talking about their primetime game coming up this Sunday. They got killed by the Vikings this past week. What do the Packers do to help out Aaron Rodgers right now? You're a Packers GM. What do you do to help out Aaron Rodgers as my dad comes back here again? No self-awareness or respect for the podcast.
Hey, podcast.
Go ahead, Jake.
Packers need to find out who their guy is out of all the new ones.
Hey, Jake.
Find their guy. Find their guy. And then give the ball to him as much as possible.
Yep.
You know, you got Aaron Jones. I should have started out with this. You have A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones. You just run the ball. Run the ball until you can't no more. Then find your guy. Force the ball to him as much as you can without Aaron Rodgers making too many mistakes, which he usually doesn't. I think you'll have a little basis to start. because they've got to restart here because the wide receivers didn't look great. Obviously, they're too young. That's how it's going to be.
I'm going to go with a big blockbuster trade. Fun pick here. I'm going to go you trade Aaron Jones for a high market receiver. That is what I'm going with. Straight up, you might want to throw some extra picks or money in there or something, but just straight up the main trade. I don't know what receiver. I didn't really think about it that much, but I think blockbuster trade. You have A.J. Dillon, like you just said. Find your guy. You have A.J. Dillon. You don't need 2 running backs. You don't. At the end of the day, you don't need 2 running backs. Trade one. Trade Aaron Jones for a good wide receiver. You need it. You need it real bad. And so, yeah, that's what I think you do. You go trade for a wide receiver.
Or if Odell gets healthy,
yes.
sign him.
Yep, that's the alternative. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our betting lock for this week for NFL. I'll let you start because I started the last betting lock. You want me to go first?
You better start this
Okay. All right, betting lock. I am very biased on this one, but I am confident in this one. Jaguars +4. I put at Colts. Let's hope it's not at Colts. If it's at Colts, I change my answer. Hold on, I'm going to check real fast. Real quick.
It's at Jaguars.
It's at Jaguars. Okay, good. I was making sure. I have at Colts on my paper for some reason. But, yeah, Colts at Jaguars. Colts are -4-point favorites. I like the Jags to cover +4. Even if they lose, you're giving me over a field goal. I like that. So, give me Jags.
I'm going to take... I'm going to take Vikings +1.5.
Who do they play?
Against the Eagles.
Is it at Eagles?
Yeah.
Okay.
At Eagles.
Nice. So you're going. That's probably an outright then. Well, you get 1 point. So, but.
Wait, am I on the wrong? What am I looking at right now? Confused. I'm on ESPN right now. It has week 2 in the NFL.
Yeah.
Monday, September 19th is Titans, Bills, Vikings, Eagles for Monday night. There's 2 Monday night games, I guess, next Monday. Yeah, we didn't talk about Monday night. That's why I was confused.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, we didn't talk about Monday night.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to take that Monday night game.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, that'll wrap it up for what we got. You got anything else you want to add or talk about real fast? And then fans, anyone in the chat, if you guys have any questions, sports related, you can drop them now and we'll answer them as soon as we get done with any Jake topics. Give us our Jake question of the week.
Question of the week. Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva. Who wins and how? In October 29th.
We talked about this before, and I said I don't know, but I'll make a pick.
Yeah, time now.
I'll make a pick. I want to wait till I see the rounds because I agree with a good YouTuber, MMA Guru, if you want to look him up. He makes good points about fighting, and I think that it all comes down to how many rounds. But I will go with the man that controls the entire fight. I'll go with Jake Paul by decision. He controls it however he wants it, and I think he'll go low rounds. Unless someone challenges him on it, if someone says, hey, man, you're going to win this fight because you made low rounds, we've seen Jake Paul will go out of his way to, prove a point, I guess. So if he upgrades it, it'll be a mistake, and I'll go Silva. But as of right now, because we see Jake Paul have cardio issues, but as of right now, I will go Jake Paul by decision. What about you?
Yeah, Jake Paul against Tyron Woodley, too. Jake Paul was looking pretty not bad, but not really good.
Yeah.
He was like there until Tyron Woodley tapped his glove like that, and then Jake Paul knocked him out. Make with that what you want.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I'll have to go with Jake Paul just because I think he rigs him. So Jake Paul by riggage.
Okay. We got no more questions in the chat, so I appreciate all of you guys coming in for this BoogiePod. Again, that's Monday. I'm going to try to upload maybe 1 or 2 videos even on the sports channel this week. I'm going to try to bump up the sports channel and kind of go to 1 video on the gaming channel. So that's what you can expect. Follow both if you haven't. Join Discord. Follow all the socials. Follow Jake